Hello, Must Do 0063 back for a bonus part of Celeste. I was not expecting to do this video, but hey, I've just out of sheer sort of curiosity as to whether or not I can actually do some of them. I actually went back and tried to do a few like collect a few golden strawberries and such like that. So yeah, I've actually managed to pull off a few extra in addition to the one I got from chapter 1's A side. So I thought, you know what, extra golden strawberries. Why not? Because I can. So yeah, I'm going to consider this a sort of a bonus to the Let's Play and not as a numbered part in it, but obviously it's going to be tagged on at the end anyway, but oh well. Yeah, unfortunately this is going to be sort of take 2 on this, because, well, if I go cover the game here, you can see on my first save file, I managed to get the death counter to a nice number, 7272. My one, not this Let's Play version, but the one I did before, I was just going through normally, was at 2222, so I've done really well there, and I got 7272, so nice numbers of deaths. But you can see, yeah, 182 strawberries, and you can also see 182 strawberries here, because I've previously, as in the last day, tried to record a session where I actually collected those 6 extra strawberries, but unfortunately, and I just completely forgot about this, that the size of the game window that I've got open now here, based on my recording, lags the hell out of the thing. So when I very first did the Let's Play, I got through like the first video, went back, reviewed the footage, and it was completely all over the place. So I was like, oh my god, I'm not even sure I can even do a Let's Play if it's going to lag like that. But I reduced the size of the video, I reduced the size of the window, and then it all ran absolutely fine. But I forgot about that when I came to this bonus episode because it was so long ago. So I had the window slightly bigger than it should have been, and I recorded all the footage of me getting these 6 strawberries all in one go, and I reviewed the footage afterwards, and it was an absolute train wreck because the audio and the video just did not mash together at all. So I would have loved to have done it and shown you all on my actual, same file that was the Let's Play version, which was this bottom one, but oh well. I mean, in theory, I obviously could do it again on this version, and now the strawberries, the gold ones, will be sort of blue because I've already collected them. But I think there's something nice about actually collecting the strawberries, for the first time round on a save file, rather than just sort of duplicating what I've done previously. So I'm actually going to be doing it on this one. So I'm going to be ruining my perfect number of deaths here, 2222. So I'm going to be doing it on this secondary file, if you will. And yeah, what I'm going to try and be doing in this one video is collecting these 6 additional golden strawberries, as I said, because I can. It's going to be a little bit show-offy, so somewhat apologies for that, but it actually will give me an opportunity to do 2 things that I really want to do. One of them is to correct a misconception, or indeed something that I said multiple times wrong during the Let's Play, so I get a chance to set that right. And also show off another kind of gimmick or manoeuvre that I hadn't talked about at all during the Let's Play as well. That wasn't really you're never actually told about, and I only learned about after the fact. Well, it's kind of watching like experts or some experts kind of do various bits and pieces. So yeah, there's an additional manoeuvre which actually comes in very handy, and yeah, I'll actually get to show that off as well. So yay! I think that's enough by way of an introduction. Let's open up this second save file, and we'll start doing some of the extra golden strawberries. So the first one that I'm going to do, if this is the right level, yeah, is I'm going to do chapter 2, Old Sites A side. So basically, there aren't probably that many A sides that I feel like I could do. I mean, to be honest, the 6 golden strawberries that I've got here, I don't know why I'm not. Whoa, that did not look nice at all. Some huge amount of dropped frames there. Apologies for that. Yeah, not much I can do about that, but oh well. Yeah, it was just when I first dashed there right at the beginning, it was the picture just completely froze and just sort of like skipped ahead a whole bunch. So yeah, apologies for that. Anyway, the A sides are quite long, and I'm going to be skip that cutscene because I can. And for the most part, you'll see me sort of do quite a lot of C sides. In this little extra video. The main reason for that being that, of course, they are considerably shorter, only 3 or 4 screens long. In fact, the ones I'm going to be doing are all 3 screens long. So yeah, I wouldn't sort of tend to do too many of the A sides. I mean, frankly, the B sides you could more or less forget about. That's just going to require a level of skill and persistence or neither of which I possess. We'll skip that as well. That's bad. Not what I wanted to do at all. Managed to obviously still survive it, but yeah, that wasn't what I wanted to do at all. Yeah, so B-sides, just not on your life really. They are sufficiently difficult, not to the point where I can't do them, obviously, but you're talking about like no death runs, just literally no chance. And ultimately, probably above and beyond the A side. I'll turn the volume down when I can get to a convenient point, and there is a convenient point because I died. Fantastic. Came up a bit loud there. Oh well. Yeah, the A sides. I've obviously done Chapter 1 A side. This is Chapter 1 A side, and this is obviously Chapter 2 A side. I feel like possibly I could look at doing Chapter 3 A side if I was persistent enough. But it's like I sort of said during when I got my first golden, or maybe the only golden strawberry really in the main Let's Play. I sort of like this game too much to really sort of want to do that to myself and just kind of frustrate myself. To that degree, I feel like Chapter 2 A side. It's still a fairly short level. I mean, they all feel pretty short actually when you're not kind of like going for going for strawberries in the regular level as well, because that's the thing that takes the time, and and obviously they're quite tricky, and you're going to die quite a lot in getting the strawberries. But of course now, other than this gold one, I'm not going for any additional secrets. I'm not going for regular strawberries. I'm not going for crystal hearts. I'm not going for B-side cassettes. So yeah, in theory, it's going to be you can whiz through the levels considerably quicker. And frankly, on a successful run, I've no idea how long my Chapter 2 A side took during my Let's Play, but on a successful run getting through here, actually getting to the end and getting the golden strawberry, I'd be surprised if a level took more than 4 minutes. Because, yeah, as I say, you just go sort of going straight for the exit, straight for the end. I'm obviously familiar enough, or pretty familiar with everything that's going on here to the point where, oh God, I'm pretty familiar to the point here where I'm going to screw up. This does bring me to another point, actually, that unfortunately, doing this as take 2, this could go horribly, horribly wrong compared to what I did last time. One level was actually a little bit of a shocker last time on when I did this on my third file, yeah, two of the 6 were actually only single-digit failures, and this one I actually did first go. So yay, no deaths. I actually did manage to pull this off first go, whereas now I've already died twice to it. And in some ways, Chapter 2's A side has the potential to be probably one of the more annoying of the lot, simply because it's so long, or in terms of like the number of screens I'm clearing, that if I mess up, it's an awful long way to get back to the beginning. Whereas something like, for example, the Seaside one, yes, okay, fine, it's very difficult, but you're only talking like 2 or 3, 3 screens or so. So I mess up, all I've got to do is clear another 2 or 3 screens or so. Whereas this one, again, it's not the most lengthy thing ever, but still, you're looking at least 20, 30 screens or so. So yeah, actually messing up while doing Chapter 2 A-Side's Golden Strawberry is kind of irritating. And I'm actually died on a screen that I wasn't really expecting to have too many problems with. Fun enough, it's the ones sort of toward the end of at the very end of this chapter that if I'm going to die, it's usually there. We are closing in on that actually. I think we've only got maybe 2 or 3 really screens where there's any real remote possibility that I could mess up. This is one of them. And that's not good. Yeah, wonderful, lovely. Oh, fantastic. Like I said, all that way, that was pretty much the second to last screen that I could die on. Not the absolute one. It's possible that I could have screwed up after that, and obviously there's one screen still left after that that could be a huge headache. But yeah, all things equal, that was pretty much the end. And yeah, like I said, it's those screens at the end can be a little tricky. I am prone to die on them, and of course, in doing so, I have to do the whole lot all over again. And that's the type of thing where boredom kind of set in, or tedium, that's a better word, where I sort of try and take liberties on other sections, try and get through the other areas quicker than I would do normally, and make silly mistakes and mess up on things that I wouldn't ordinarily completely never never mess up on. So yeah, here's hoping that this doesn't take too much longer. I've already died now 3 times. I think it's is it only 3? Is it only 3? Yeah, but I'd really like to not make it a 4th time. as I say, it's not exactly the most frustrating thing because, you know, it's probably only taken the best part of 2-3 minutes or so to get back to the point where I die, because it is still a very short level. It's not like Chapter 7's A-side, for example, or Chapter 6 A-side, where it's going to be a lot of screens, it's going to take a long time. You know, as I say, on a successful run, I should be able to whiz through this in, you know, 3-4 minutes tops. So it's not the most lengthy thing in the world, but getting to the end and then dying, not good, not fun. Right, unless I have a colossal mess up, we should at least get back to the screen I was on previously. And maybe this time we can grab the little block here a little bit quicker. Still wasn't terribly impressed by that, but oh well. Right, it's the last screen realistically that I could mess up on. Concentrate. Good. Just be very careful here. I'm going to take my time here and sort of bait out the bad lines, get them all out of the way, and we should be good now. God, I don't have a nightmare. Cool. So that's where Badeline finishes up, and she's no longer going to chase us. So yeah, I'm going to be a little bit careful here because diagonal dashing, it could be a thing later on in some of the other chapters where it's going to be more of a thing. But yeah, I'm going to be very careful here to pretty much dash through this plasma only when I need to, not take any risks here because I'm at the end of the level. No point in me mucking about. And yeah, accidentally diagonal dashing through the plasma into the wall would not be fun. So yay. In fact, let's just end that there. I've actually continued on this chapter through to its end, but I say the golden strawberry actually collects there, so there's probably no point really continuing on. So yeah, I'll leave that there. We've got the golden strawberry on chapter 2's A-side. It was only 3 deaths, but as I say, that's 3 more than I had when I did this before. So yeah, still a little bit frustrating, but still not overly difficult. But anyway, yeah, let's move on. So let's go back to chapter 1. And yeah, now let's do a whole bunch of the seasides. So yeah, obviously we're going to start off with chapter 1's seaside. For the most part, I genuinely feel like the seasides I'm going to be doing here, I'm going to be doing for the first 4 chapters. They're all okay. I mean, don't get me wrong, they can be quite tricky in terms of the screens, and it's certainly not easy to get through, but for the most part, I don't think any of these are that difficult. Let's put it that way. This is actually one of the ones I did do in a single-digit number on the previous go. I actually did it 3rd go, so I had 2 deaths. So if I can pull this off, it'll only be 1. But I'm not suggesting for a minute I'm going to pull this off this go, but who knows? I might end up pulling off. Might end up doing really well. Who knows? Cool. And diagonal dash. Are you absolutely kidding me? Seriously, that would have been 2nd go, all the way through that, and now I've got to do the whole bloody lot because I friggin' accidentally diagonal dashed at the end. Are you absolutely kidding me? Well, I think, that's proved 2 things. One, that this really isn't all that bad, because that would have been 2nd go. And second thing it proves is that I friggin' hate diagonal dashing. It is the one thing in this game. Again, with a game with something like this, or Super Meat Boy, or The End Is Nigh, or something of that ilk, control is so important. And honestly, 99% of the time, I have no problem with the control in this game. It's just every so often, 2nd go again anyway. So again, I'll take that. If you'd offered me doing that, 3rd go, 2 deaths. If you'd offered me doing that on my 3rd go, I would have bitten your hand off. That still went by pretty quickly, and honestly, the only bloss on that was the stupid diagonal dash right at the end there. But I mean, yeah, still pretty good. But control is so important in these types of games. 99% of the time, I have no problem whatsoever. Everything feels really good, and maybe it's just or what I feel could be a crummy controller that happens to. I don't know if this happens a lot to everyone else on such a frequent basis. But honestly, for me, diagonal dashing is the one main gripe with this game, or pretty much the only gripe I'd have with this game. Now I've got so much better at pulling off in particular, the wall boost maneuver that you learn about in Chapter 2's Seaside chapter 7 B-side for the first time. Now I've got much better at that. I was having huge problems with that mechanical gimmick when I first did it, and to the point where I got a little bit frustrated with it. But I'm fine with that now, so that's all good. Yeah, diagonal dashing, man, just I hate it, and it's always in just the worst possible moments, like that last manoeuvre there. But anyway, moving on. Chapter 2's Seaside, Old Site. So I think I'm probably even more prone, perhaps, to diagonal dashing in this one, because it's a whole bunch of plasma. Yeah, there's going to be... I didn't collect that, did I? I mean, no big deal, I suppose. But, yeah, unfortunately, with having to do lots of dashing, particularly through this plasma, yeah, anything that forces me to do lots of dashing means that the likelihood of me diagonal dashing is obviously going to increase. So, yeah, fingers crossed. Bugger. Fingers crossed doesn't become a thing in this one. So yeah, the third screen is the only real difficult one in this stage, I'd say. The first two, or the first ones, is just almost a gimme. The second one, I've got a pretty good strategy that I'm happy with. Probably not the most economical one in terms of getting through quickly or anything like that, but it's what works for me pretty well. So again, particularly in a Golden Strawberry run, I see no reason whatsoever to change what I'm doing there. You joking me? Oh, I still had my dash. I mean, that's obviously what I tried to do there. I sort of didn't expect to actually have my dash there. I thought I'd messed up at the end there, and I went a bit quiet at the end there because oh bother. That bit I'm always prone to just jump too high and hit the spikes. It actually, what presumably happened there was I jumped too high or too long out of the plasma, and yeah, didn't dash through the other bit of plasma, and somehow grabbed the wall. That's what I was almost, yeah, just not expecting to even have a dash at the end there. I assumed I'd actually diagonal dashed at the end and lost it. But, well, yeah, still not absolutely 100% sure what happened there, but oh well. Cool. That's still pretty good. So other than my slight nightmare, although calling it a nightmare, calling it a nightmare, perhaps Stage 2's Chapter 2's A side is probably still a little bit of a stretch. But aside from that, yeah, they've been the C-sides have been going pretty well. So yeah, only 3 deaths, fourth go, Chapter 2's C-side. Yeah, still, yeah, pretty good, pretty happy with that. And yeah, well, while we're waiting for the game to unfreeze. Sorry, it's a couple of times now the game's frozen a little bit. I'm not quite sure what's happened. Hopefully that's not prevalent all the way through this video and it's going to be a complete mess and I'm going to have to ditch this and unfortunately all the golden strawberries will be recollectible. But yeah, hopefully this is not... Hopefully the quality of this is not all over the place. There. I did a test recording, by the way, just to make sure that the audio and the video line up, and that's no problem. So, or was no problem on the test recording. So, yeah, I'm optimistic on that. But yeah, please, I could do with a smooth video here where everything works out really nicely. Please. Anyway, Chapter 3, Celestial Resorts, Seaside. And this is the one that I said during the Let's Play that if the golden strawberry, thank you for the diagonal dash that I didn't want. If the golden strawberries were accessible at the beginning, that I would have actually collected it because of my mishap with the pause menu and everything. But here's where I can finally correct something. So you can see here I'm stuck on this wall. So it's basically a Chapter 3 gimmick. So yeah, I'm stuck on this wall. It's got the wall with the tentacles on there where the goo would sort of come out. But I continually said all the way through that you can't dilly-dally on it, you have to move, otherwise the goo's going to come out of the wall, or indeed the floor, because it's also a floor gimmick as well. And yeah, you can't hang around, you have to move, otherwise the goo's going to come out and it's going to kill you. It only comes out when you move off the spot. So, as you can see here, I'm clung to the wall as long as you know, for absolutely ages here. It hasn't come out, I haven't died, so yeah. It's also true on the floor. If you're standing on a certain point on the floor, and you don't move, the goo won't come out. So you can stand there as long as you want until you're ready to move. So, yeah, I've pretty much been playing this game where... That was awful. Where, yeah, I've been making it considerably more difficult for myself, where I've been making manoeuvres a lot quicker. Wow, that's awful. A lot quicker than I've needed to. Because I've normally, in fact, I might even try and do it. Like there, for example, I dashed off the thing like, or jumped off the wall there, like, almost instantaneously, because I was like, oh, well, I can't hang about on the wall, got to jump off that quickly. And that's what I've been doing all the way through this Let's Play, where I'm like, okay, yeah, can't hang about on the wall or the floor. And, yeah, that's not the case at all. Finally glad I had a chance to correct that misconception. It's come a bit late in the day, but oh well, at least I've had the opportunity to do so. Moving on. So yeah, this screen would have been a nightmare before I actually, I'm not going to say mastered, because that's just not the right word at all, but got a better appreciation and much more of a hang of the wall boost gimmick. Oh, I jumped instead of dashed. I pressed the wrong button. That was so dumb. By the way, I'm also so much better at this first screen now in terms of the position and the manoeuvres to collect those jump refreshers and not hit the slime or whatever it is. Yeah, I had a torrid time trying to do that initially. Or, initially, probably even on the Let's Play. That was awfully timed. Yeah, not so much anymore. I've got seem to have it down pretty much pat, except for the last little manoeuvre, apparently, which is just stupid. But yeah, I really should have this screen down pat. It should be now no problem. Or very little problem. Let's not say no problem, because clearly I'm having a problem with it from time to time, but oh well. Yeah, I'm gonna go quicker there and just make myself not hang about as long. Just get that section done quicker. This screen as well also, again, I've kind of got into a rhythm. That's bad. That's very bad. Oh, okay, yeah, kind of got into a rhythm on that first bit once you sort of play it enough. Oh, no. And, yeah, it's sort of become, not second nature, but, again, so much easier than it had been previously. Are you kidding me? Oh, my God, don't mess up this bit. In theory, you've got so many goes at this last little bit as well. That's not good. Nope. So, okay, yeah, and that's the thing I want to do. I want to jump off, jump on Mr. Shiro. If I miss him, I can click the dash refresher and dash back to the wall, and yeah, all well and good. So yeah, that is the golden strawberry that I said I could have got when I talked about it during my presumably would have been part 14. This is stuck again, isn't it? Because it shouldn't do that. It should not linger on that screen for as long as it did there, and the music didn't quite change or register or anything like that. Still only 6 deaths, so again, still pretty good on that. But yeah, that was the golden strawberry I mentioned in part 14 that I would have technically got if the golden strawberry previously been activated after my pause menu mishap, because I got through the whole thing without dying, or I got through after screen 1, I'd cleared screen 2 and cleared screen 3 all in the same go. So yes, I can clearly do it. It's actually not all that difficult. Again, only 6 deaths. Frankly, I feel like the worst one that's happened here has been Stage 2's Chapter 2's regular levels, the A side. The other ones, yes, there have been more deaths possibly, but in fact, not actually on maybe one of them. But yeah, while there may have been more deaths, those are harder. And I feel like they're more liable to mess up on them. Chapter 2's A side, not so much. But anyway, that's 4 out of 6 done, and again it's freezing. This is again, I'm thankful it only seems to be on like pause menus and other things once the level's done. So hopefully much of the actual gameplay is unaffected and all well and good. But yeah, please do not mess up. Please don't be a terrible recording. Anyway, let's move on to the last seaside level that I'm going to do, which is Chapter 4's Golden Ridge. It's the second screen in this of this one that causes pretty much most of the problems, or indeed really... No, let's not say all the problems. Let's stick with most of the problems. But yeah, let me just briefly address right now that... yeah, as I said, this is probably the last seaside level that I can probably do. Chapter 5's Mirror Temple, Chapter 6, Reflection, Chapter 7, the Summit, and Chapter 8, the Core are just... there's at least one screen, I'd say, in all of those levels that's just absolutely horrific, and I feel like I've got barely any chance whatsoever of being able to sort of do, on like a first run or anything like that. So yeah, I think those are pretty much out. And that was a first goer. I did not do that on my first go. The previous time. So yay! I was expecting the second screen there, because believe me, that's what caused all the problems on my previous attempt. But none apparently this time. Or indeed did anything cause me any problems. Wow. I'd wager that's possibly even better than some of the speedrunners. I'm not for a minute comparing myself to the skill level of the speedrunners on this game, because oh my god, they are in a complete different world when it comes to what they could do with this game. But yeah, still, first go coming into it without too much practice on it, or getting to grips with it, that's pretty darn good. I'm pretty happy with that. Yeah, as I was sort of saying, yeah, the other sides have just got chapter 5. The final screen is just absolutely awful. It's absolutely awful. I don't feel like there's any way I could realistically probably do the first screen and that one in any one go. I mean, it's possible. It's not impossible, but it would just be way too frustrating. Chapter 6 has got 4 screens, and frankly, those last 2. One is a sort of a giant screen, but it's a giant screen, but it's got a checkpoint. But I feel like trying to do that, no. Chapter 7, the final screen on that one is ludicrous. The first 2 are actually pretty okay, or to be able to clear without dying in succession. But that final screen, oh, bleed now, no. And also that last lengthy horizontal scrolling screen in the core, no. just no. I realistically don't see that happening. So anyway, I've got half of the Seaside Golden Strawberries, and I think that's probably good enough. So yay, that does leave 1 strawberry. Because I've got 5 golden strawberries now, so it's the chapter 2's A side, and then chapters 1, 2, 3, 4 C sides. So yeah, 1 left, which will get me up to the 182 that I've got on my other 2 save files. And for that one, we're going to be touching on this super duper extra hidden sort of secret 200 strawberry that I alluded to, which is when the thing decides that it wants to zoom in and actually play the level properly, and that is Chapter 1, A-side, Dashless. This one, I can't guarantee that I won't have to cut some material on or cut to successful runs, because this is difficult. I would still only say there are perhaps 3 or 4 screens that are really difficult, and that's ultimately where pretty much all the difficulty is going to lie. But don't get me wrong, this is still, from start to finish, very tricky to pull off. So, yeah, basically, as I probably alluded to in the part, I don't know which one would have been now. Around maybe 10 or so. I can't remember the exact part it will be, but yeah, you have to get through the entire stage without dashing. But unlike the other Golden Strawberry, this is one where you can die, as I'm going to multiple times. You can die, and it doesn't matter as long as you don't at any point dash. Then you are absolutely fine. You can die as many times as you want. Yeah, you just have to get through ultimately without dashing. So yeah, it becomes a little bit of a thing later on through the level where you're like, oh my god, just to make sure my finger isn't anywhere near the dash button. Don't accidentally dash anywhere, just otherwise you'll completely ruin the entire run. Like if you got to like the second to last screen and you accidentally dashed, oh bleed now. All that effort, all that blood, sweat and tears down the drain. Oh boy, yeah, let's not do that. But as you've seen here, up to this point in time, this is going to be the first real troublesome screen. But yeah, up to this point in time, it's all been fairly, well, you know, fairly plain sailing. Not too difficult, if I do say so myself. This screen is possibly one of the hardest in the entire lot. It's one of about, let's say, 3 or 4 that I'm expecting to cause quite a lot of trouble. Yeah, and ultimately, I suppose the other thing to say is, whilst I can actually complete this, and hopefully, obviously, you'll see me do it, if you're looking for or hoping that I'm going to be able to provide a detailed, or comprehensive explanation of how I'm pulling off some of these manoeuvres, I'm afraid you're going to be you're going to be sort of left fairly disappointed, because I sort of understand the concept to it. And believe me, I obviously had to look up some of these manoeuvres in terms of how other players, you know, the speedrunners and all the expert people were actually pulling these off to figure out how to do them. But yeah, you're sort of effectively using momentum and like the very corners of the edges of ledges before you sort of hit spikes to actually be able to make the jump. So what I'm trying to do for this bit, and again, a lot of the deaths are going to look very, very silly, very stupid, but I'm effectively trying to just grab onto the very sort of left-hand, I suppose, edge of that ledge, bugger, and pull off a jump. You know, and I'll get some extra momentum in doing so in order to clear this huge sort of set of spikes there. I'm going to run out of stamina here. Okay, no, I'm not. Cool. And that last little bit is also rather tricky, and that went by really well, actually. I mean, I know I had quite a few deaths on there. It was easily the most difficult one so far, but I'm actually really, really pleased with how quickly that went. But yeah, I'm effectively trying to clip the very left-hand edge, or at least I think I am, clip the very left-hand edge of the area just before the spikes on the top there, on a sort of a jump, or off of a wall jump to get a little bit of extra momentum to get over that huge spike bit. I'm also going to do the same, this very similar thing at the bottom there. You saw me sort of clip where I died a couple of times and was like, bugger, because I got past the first hard bit and then messed up the second bit. I'm sort of jumping up vertically, just again to get myself a little bit of extra momentum, and again hopefully just sort of pressing jump, getting that little bit again on the very left hand edge of that block with the spikes to get the momentum to get over to the right hand side. But yeah, as for precisely how to pull those off and what's going on, I'm a little bit fuzzy on all the details, frankly. So yeah, apologies, the explanation is not going to be exactly top notch. This screen is bad. This one, again, it almost feels like you're sort of trying to do the same thing, but this time vertically. So what I'm trying to do is I'm basically trying to hit my head on the sort of at least, again, I think I am. I think is what I'm trying to do. Hit my head on sort of like the bottom corner. Oh my god, are you kidding? Wow. Hit my head on the very bottom sort of corner of that little ledge sticking out with the spikes, and then jump again, and I'll get an extra sort of, again, massive boost, which is enough to make it over to this ledge. Are you kidding me? That took less than a minute to pull off. Are you kidding me? Those, I honestly feel like, are probably the two hardest screens of this dashless run, and they're in succession as well. So, bloody hell, I got stuck here so much. First time I was trying to do this, because I'd never done it before, and even on the go when I previously recorded this for what I thought was going to be uploaded, this I actually cut on this screen because it took too long. But wow, that was, I feel like, less than a minute, I think, or no more than 5 goes or so to pull that off. That was incredible. Yeah, wow. Honestly, until a fair way through now, it's pretty much, I'm not going to say plain sailing, but having just pulled off what I just pulled off, we get probably at least 5 or 6 screens of, comparative ease. So, yeah, cool. Unless we're coming up to the screen, okay, no, okay, maybe not quite 5 or 6. This is the next tricky screen. After this one, I genuinely feel like, I think there's probably one more that could be a little bit problematic, but this is the last one I think that could be very problematic. Basically, I mean, it's a very similar concept. What I'm trying to do here is, well, cling onto this wall, cling round to this wall, get a wall boost, again, with a jump sort of just to the right of that spike, on the very sort of pixel edge of that ledge, and get an extra boost in order to make it over to that ledge. I'm never going to be able actually to make it, at least I don't think so anyway, to land on that ledge. I'm going to sort of cling to the left-hand side. So what I need to do is just, if that happens, just make sure I'm very quick on the uptake, quickly climb up, quickly make my way over to all the way to the right-hand edge of the ledge, and then jump off to the wall on the right-hand side. But easier said than done. This one is, this one is very tricky, and I would say is probably the last screen that I consider to be very problematic. And could end up being, well, probably already is actually by this point in time, could end up being the screen that takes the longest to do. Because yeah, I can't believe how well the other two went in comparison to how I thought they were going to go, and the sense that I ended up needing to cut on the second of those two, because yeah, it took too long. I mean, it didn't take a like ridiculous amount of time. Let's put it that way. It was maybe 10 minutes or so, but I didn't really have 10 minutes worth of rambling or to be able to justify, I think, keeping the recording going for that long on that one screen. But yeah, this is very tricky. This one, I still don't think this is quite as tricky as like maybe that first really tricky screen, because I feel like you only have to pull off maybe one. Oh yes, cool. You only have to pull off one really tricky jump on this one, which is obviously the one you saw I kept dying on when trying to make it over to the ledge, rather than 2, where you have to sort of do 2 extended jumps with momentum off of the edge of ledges. But But so yeah, I feel like this one's just ever so slightly easier than the first one. I think that one took longer, but again, it's done, and we can move on, and we can die ridiculously. Okay, that was pathetic. But yeah, okay, I think we have got maybe only one screen left that could pose a little bit of a problem. Other than that, I'm not going to say the rest is. I say none of this is plain sailing, but I don't believe the rest should cause too many problems. I really don't. I'm optimistic this should go down pretty quickly from here, barring a nightmare on one screen, and I think it might be this one. So that was that manoeuvre pulled off, and I've got up to there, nice, and messed that jump up. So yeah, that's a kind of a tricky one. So I pulled this off first go, so extra momentum off of there, and yeah, that's the tricky bit I always find in this bit. I could actually shortcut this by pulling off the manoeuvre that I want to demonstrate. Demonstrate on the final screen. So I'm gonna try to not use it here. But oh god, yes, cool. And if I can pull this off again without too much trouble, then nothing to worry about. This, by the way, is set up perfectly, so if you literally just grab onto that lower hanging ledge there and just drop off, you'll be perfectly aligned where you can just jump off of that very pixel edge of that other ledge with the spikes and get up there. So, but the end of this looks like it could be quite bad, but actually it's pretty straightforward. Yeah, the bottom bit there was the bit where I'm trying to climb up the wall because I keep running out of stamina, or it's very close to running out of stamina. There is a trick that I could have used there to stop myself running out of stamina, but as I say, I'll save that for the very last screen. It's probably a good place to show it off. And also that that jump, which again looks horrible, but just to the left of that floating dash refresher, where you sort of have to land to the right of the rightmost spike there, and just above obviously the topmost spike sticking out to the right, and get a jump off there. That looks like it could be really bad, and it only took 2 goes to do. So yeah, this screen, as I say, it looks like it has the potential to be quite tricky, but in all honesty, it really isn't, as far as from my perspective. And yeah, we've passed all the bits that could cause me a lot of problems, to be honest. Not saying this little bit is straightforward, but it sort of feels like it's one manoeuvre. The screen itself is not. Yeah, again, didn't take too long, but yeah, timing the horizontal, or getting the horizontal movement there off of that ledge, because you're not set up perfectly like the previous screen. You are going to have to move a little bit to the left hand side to get the thing on there. I think potentially you could actually cling to that bottom, or sort of just cling to that wall there, rather than have to make the jump, but. Always a little bit nervous and doing that, so I think I just prefer to make it in one go. But I think possibly you could actually cling to that ledge. But oh well. Let's move on. Okay. This one's not so bad, I don't think. I'm expecting this to cause too many problems. Again, one maybe tricky manoeuvre, but not too bad. And again, very similar thing, and pulled it off first go, or at least that manoeuvre first go. So again, yay. Nothing to worry about. And that brings us to the last screen. So, this is what I would call the problem with this one. Basically, you always seem to run out of stamina here, and you've got maybe one go. I'll try and do that again without employing the trick, which will effectively make this nothing really to worry about. But you've got maybe effectively one go to try and, by the way, if you run out of stamina, it's completely all over. But you've got maybe, let's do it one more time. One go to try and get this loop around jump onto the edge of that, onto the left-hand edge of that platform, which is very tricky to pull off, and yeah, very tricky. So there is actually a trick which I've not been using at all in the rest of this game, but yeah, what you can do here, and I'm never really perfect at it, but what I'm doing here, you see I've been on this wall here for ages now, jumping off of it and not losing stamina. If you actually don't hold the directional button on the, when I'm gripping the wall. So for example, there was a couple of jumps where I'm going to run. I'm now going to die now because I'm like way too low, probably. But yeah, if you actually, and I don't mind doing that while I'm demonstrating this point. But yeah, if I'm holding the right button and then jump, I get this really looped round jump off the wall. But if I let go of the button and just keep jumping like this, I get this what's I think dubbed a neutral jump, where I actually don't run out of stamina ever. So I can just keep jumping off the wall again and again and again, and it just completely trivialise. Well, I'm actually not going to say completely trivialises this section because that's probably not quite right, but it basically means I've got almost as many goes as I want of this, And yeah, it's a fantastic way, which you could use obviously at various other points in the game, to not run out of stamina, ever. Yeah, I think it's dubbed a neutral jump. I wasn't really, yeah, just nothing I really... The game doesn't tell you can do this. By the way, I still got a little bit left here. Don't celebrate just yet. I know I'm on a speech at the moment, but I could mess up this last little jump. In fact, good. I didn't mess up the last jump. Cool, good. Actually, yeah, let's just jump and get the strawberry. I went over there, by the way, to jump to get that, because admittedly I could have done something like that, because obviously it would have collected the strawberry, but what I was terrified of, for example, if I was positioned directly under the strawberry, was doing something like that, going off to the side, diagonal dashing, and not missing the strawberry, have it fly away, and then never return. That would just be, after going through all that, an absolute disaster. But wow, yeah, it's done. Nothing there caused me too many problems. I mean, admittedly, I did obviously play this like only yesterday, literally, or the day yesterday from when I actually recording this, rather than when it's going to be uploaded, of course. But yeah, so it's not like I'm coming into this completely cold or anything. But still, some of the manoeuvres you have to pull off in doing that dash for stage 1 are very tricky. I'm so pleased I managed to pull that off, and yeah, happy days. We'll go over there, we'll trigger the cutscene, we'll end the chapter, why not? We'll get stuck on that screen again. No, not this time. Let's see how many deaths it was. So only 7 previously. So okay, fewer than 60. So 59. Only suffered 59 deaths on that in getting the dashless golden strawberry on chapter 1's A side. Yay! Well, I think that's pretty much it then. I've shown off the 6 golden strawberries. Let's go back to the menu and see what my time or death counter is like. 2295. No, that's not a nice number. Not as nice as 2222. Although it does show that I only took 73 deaths in getting those 6 golden strawberries across the board, which is, again, wow, amazing. I can't remember. I've got no idea what my death count was at the end. I'd have to look it up. At the end of the Let's Play, part 15, to when I collected the 6 golden strawberries on there. I'm guessing it was way more than 73, let's put it that way. Yeah, to get those 6 golden strawberries with only 73 deaths, yeah, again, would have snapped your hand off. So, yeah, I think I'll probably leave it there. It's been a sort of a, yeah, just a bonus episode, really, to the Celeste Let's Play, where I just thought, you know what, I've got 6 extra golden strawberries. There's a couple of extra things that would be really nice to explain, or which are including the tentacle goo gimmick in the Celestial Resort. And that just got that completely wrong all the way through the Let's Play. Apologies for that, and probably made the game significantly more difficult for myself than it needed to be, because I was dashing through that and taking dashing's a bad word there, whizzing through that quicker than I would otherwise need to, and I actually could have caught my breath considerably more often than I would have than I thought I would have had, considerably more than I thought possible. And also got to show off the so-dubbed neutral jump there as well, which is again can be a very, very useful mechanic. Not only it's not mandatory to complete that last screen. You can do it without it, but not only for that, it's very useful, but also just in general throughout the rest of the game. But obviously the game never actually teaches you that, unlike the wall boost dash or the floor boost dash kind of thing, or the jumping out of plasma. So it's an extra ability that's actually always at your disposal, but the game actually never tells you about it. So yeah, kind of odd it doesn't. Feel like there's some sort of reward that you should get at the end of the game, or somewhere through the game actually tells you that's a thing. Because I say I never stumbled across it once really, just on the fly. It was only by sort of watching the experts and what do their thing that actually was aware it was even a thing. But oh well, got to show that off, and also clear up my mistake on the Celestial Resort goo thing. And as I say, show off just a little bit with the six extra golden strawberries, and indeed, particularly my favourite, the favourite one ultimately of that, the chapter 1. A side without dashing. That is a I'd like to say very tricky challenge, but and it is. Let's not. I shouldn't get carried away with myself and just how well this actually went in this recording, because it didn't go anywhere near as well only a day or so ago when I recorded this. I still got it done, obviously, but and first time round, oh boy. But yeah. Once you get a handle on how things work, and obviously exactly what you're supposed to do, then it does become considerably easier, but man, some of those manoeuvres are still a right raw pain to pull off, and I'm so glad it went by that well. So yeah, I will leave it there. This has been the bonus episode of Celeste, and as I said at the end of part 15, the regular part of the Let's Play, if all goes well, then coming up next should be Mega Man 10 Let's Play Perfect Runs. So looking forward to those, and I hope you'll join me for them. Until then, cheerio.